Lawmakers are back under the Gold Dome for the 2025 session. The first day of the legislative session was filled with new lawmakers being sworn in, including 3 from Middle Georgia. Newly elected Representative Tangi Herring says she wants to work on issues that will better all of Georgia.
We're going to be focusing on education and health care and also affordable housing. There are so many things that we want to make sure we cover to make sure that all Georgians are able to live, work, and play in the state of Georgia and make their lives brighter.
Newly elected Representative Anissa Jones tells us she's putting a priority on the health of Georgians, especially when it comes to a woman's right to choose.
Economic development, making sure that we had affordable health care for our state, helping to push the measure as it relates to adopting and expanding Medicare here in our state. And one thing that really sticks out for me as a woman is just protecting women's reproductive rights.
President Pro Tem Senator John Kennedy will be helping run the administrative side of the Senate. He says they're looking into tort reform and insurance.
We've got several things that we're looking at moving forward this time. One is going to be, of course, tort reform and some lawsuit abuse. For folks that are suffering because of your insurance premiums are too high, whether it's auto or home, and businesses that are just under constant threat.
Senator David Lucas is celebrating his 50th year as lawmaker. He says this session he is aiming for redistricting within the Macon-Bibb Water Authority.
The districts are too big, and we need more folks sitting at the table looking at what the Water Authority is doing, because the Water Authority has more money than the county.
6 Middle Georgia counties will have new representation in Atlanta for the next legislative session. Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger is calling for a special election after John Kennedy announced his resignation on Tuesday to focus on a campaign for lieutenant governor. He served in that seat for 11 years and said it was, quote, an honor to represent the people in his district. Longtime Forsyth Mayor Eric Wilson previously announced his campaign for the state senate this summer, but now the timeline moves up.
It's been very heartening. It's been a fun job. I enjoy serving people. I enjoy working with people and solving problems.
Wilson's prospective district represents almost 200,000 people across Monroe, Crawford, Peach, Upson, and portions of Bibb and Houston counties. 6 very different places, but he says there's a lot more in common among those folks.
One is taxes. We've got to do something to lower taxes for the citizens and lower the burden on them. Another big one is insurance rates, and a lot of that's being driven by these billboard trial attorneys.
He also credits the legislation's tort reform efforts last year as a game changer. Wilson's presence is also growing at the state level. Governor Kemp appointed him to the Peace Officer Standards and Training Council last year. He also owns a private ambulance service in Monroe County and says this additional experience was helpful.
I've gained an even deeper appreciation for our law enforcement officers and what they do, and supporting them will be a focus of mine if I'm elected to the legislature.
Other candidates running for the district include Macon attorney Stephen McNeil, former Senator Lauren Daniel, and Eugene Allison from Thomaston. More names could still enter the race during qualifying in Atlanta next week.
The Monroe County Sheriff's Office says deputies found 300 oxycodone pills hidden in a candy bag during a traffic stop. During the stop near I-75 northbound at mile marker 191, the drugs were found in a Turtles chocolate pecan candy bag in the rear passenger seat. That's according to a social media post from the Sheriff's Office on Thursday. The driver and passenger, 48-year-old Antoine Seymour of Decatur and 44-year-old James Whitaker of McDonough, are being charged with trafficking oxycodone. They are being held at the Monroe County Jail without bond.
I'm meteorologist Noah Hauk, and every single evening I'm going to be in my fancy suit presenting you the weather on that green screen wall. But that's just one way that we can portray weather. There's also a way here at Robins Air Force Base for our brothers and sisters in uniform. So let's find out how they do it.
It is kind of a team effort in weather that us, the news, and the National Weather Service are all on the same page.
Meet Airman Hubbard and Sergeant Evans, 2 weather forecasters here at Robins Air Force Base. I wanted to know what their day in the life looks like.
We come in, we open up, we talk with Tower and airfield management to make sure everything is going smoothly, and then I start my daily checklist. My Met Watch is pretty much seeing what's going on in the atmosphere, figuring out what's going on weather-wise, and what I need to forecast for the next 30 hours for our TAF.
Weather forecasters and broadcast meteorologists have some things in common, like the tools we use to forecast.
In satellite imagery and getting our upper air model data to get an idea of what's to come or what could be as far as our forecasting opportunities.
Then there are other things we don't have in common, like our daily goals.
But the biggest thing is forecasting for pilots and like mission management and everything like that. So that's kind of a misconception about what weather does, but that is one of the biggest parts of our job.
Sergeant Evans told me their training is a little different compared to a traditional 4-year degree.
You do 9 months down in Mississippi, learning basic meteorology and then like how to write tasks, how to look at synoptic patterns, cold fronts, warm fronts, the whole 9 yards. Then you get to your base and you'll go through another long training program of usually about 6 months. So
he tells me that's only part of the journey.
Really, you have to get the reps in, experience, seeing the weather patterns, seeing how it all connects and plays out.
Sergeant Evans also shared with me one of the ways the forecasters interact with Middle Georgians.
And then you have things like schools, whether they're going to close or not during the snow, and then whether the installation commander is going to close, and what does that look like for people who may need to stay home now because there's no school and their kids will be home.
He tells me his job is more than just a forecast.
It's very satisfying to identify some severe weather pattern or some significantly impacting, let's say turbulence, and then helping a pilot, know that's there and avoid it. And it can be super gratifying because you're having a direct impact on the safety of people.
Fueled on creativity, Brian Beck and his wife Yen Ting Beck opened Startup Studios about 7 years ago in Macon.
We started Startup Studios because both Yen Ting and I needed a space for our personal art studios.
Brian, a glass blower.
This is at about 2,200 degrees.
Yen Ting's focus, ceramics. They met in graduate school while each earning their Masters of Fine Arts degrees and eventually relocated to Middle Georgia. Over time, their public studio space has evolved, and recently they decided to embark on something new.
Well, we've got the space. Why don't we do our own holiday market that's way more affordable and way more accessible to local artists?
So our gallery will be available for people to purchase, but we won't take out any space for the vendors. So all the back is for the vendors.
Over 30 vendors traveling here to sell their original art, handmade crafts, natural body care, fresh bread, sweet treats, and more.
And a lot of Atlanta people will come down for the market. Yeah, or like outside Atlanta.
Whether you're looking for everyday essentials or one-of-a-kind presents ahead of the holidays.
The community members trying to find something local rather than just hopping on Amazon and purchasing something as a gift.
And if sharing experiences is more of your love language, they've got you covered, offering workshops to share their own crafts too.
Well, happy Friday, everybody. We're going to see a good deal of sunshine across Middle Georgia this afternoon, and despite a very chilly start this morning, we had upper 20s and lower 30s. Look at this. We're going to be going to the low to mid 60s for our highs with all that sunshine. Yesterday, we only hit 56, the average high 62, so warmer today and getting back up closer to where we should be for this time of year. And then looking at the hour by hour, tomorrow morning we'll start out with mostly clear skies, a good 10 degrees warmer tomorrow morning than this morning. We'll start out Saturday with low 40s or right around that 40-degree mark. During the day tomorrow, we'll see partly cloudy skies, even a little bit warmer tomorrow. We'll see upper 60s. Some of us could flirt with 70 degrees for tomorrow afternoon. And then tomorrow night, we're watching a cold front that will be approaching Middle Georgia, and that will bring in maybe a few isolated showers tomorrow night into early Sunday morning. This is not going to be a big rain event, just a few isolated showers. But that cold front will clear our area Sunday morning, and temperatures, our high temperature for Sunday is likely to possibly be Sunday morning. Look at these temperatures now. This is at 7 a.m. Sunday morning. This is 4 p.m. Sunday afternoon. So we actually could drop a little bit during the afternoon, but pretty much staying in the 40s. And let's talk about the rain now. We're going to see dry conditions today and tomorrow, but as I said, tomorrow night, early Sunday mornings, where we'll see that Arctic front moving into Middle Georgia, and it could kick off, as I said, a few isolated showers. Temperatures the next 10 days, the average high 62. We'll be above that today and tomorrow, but wow, look at what happens Sunday and especially Monday and Tuesday. And then by the middle of the week, we're getting back up above average with warmer temperatures and warmer air moving into middle Georgia. Now let's take a look at the week of Christmas. Christmas 2 weeks away. Right now, it looks like we'll be running above average on our temperatures. But again, take this with a grain of salt because it's still 2 weeks out and a lot of things could change. So here's our forecast for today. We're going to see a good deal of sunshine, low to mid 60s out there, staying dry today with all that sun. And then tonight we'll be dropping down to near 40 degrees with partly cloudy skies. And there is our 10-day forecast showing mid 60s today, upper 60s to near 70 tomorrow. And then Sunday we'll notice that colder air pouring back in. And look at Monday, our highs only right around the mid 40s at best. Look at the overnight lows for Monday night and Monday morning and Tuesday morning. We could be right around that 20-degree mark. But as I said, Wednesday into the latter part of next week, we warm it back up to the 60s.
United. Urban Meyer built college football dynasties.
Football is a way of life.
Mark Ingram II ran his way to a Heisman.
I'm gonna do the rest of the show with this thing.
Rob Stone calls it like he sees it. This is the Triple Option, where legends tackle the biggest headlines in college football and the NFL with guests who don't hold back.
You're not winning with that owner.
Wow. It's football talk that hits harder than game day. The Triple Option, presented by Wendy's, wherever you get your podcasts.